Welcome to the program. Today we come to you right from Kanjira village in Karachonyo constituency, Homa Bay County. My name is Alex Chamwada, and on location with me is Michael Zimanji. Now, in some parts of the county, there is a problem, a huge environmental problem.
When it rains, water gushes down from the hills, sweeping away the soil and resulting in the formation of dangerous gullies like this one.
Inaleta njaa, inaleta poverty pia.
We have not listened to the environment.
In this show, we will tell you how human activity has contributed to land degradation, and the results are these: soil erosion, displacement of persons, diminishing land for cultivation, and even loss of lives and livestock.
But it is not all gloom and doom. This problem can be solved through a multi-sectoral approach.
It is a big threat because we've killed and eaten all our forests.
We will tell you the story of a man who has championed the construction of a dam on one of the dangerous gullies, demonstrating that every cloud has a silver lining.
I would really appreciate if some more people would come up and we build those dams on those 12 gullies.
But first, here is our fact sheet with Michael Zimanji.
Homa Bay County is located in the former Nyanza province along the south shore of Lake Victoria's Wynnum Gulf. The county neighbors 5 other counties: Kisumu and Siaya counties to the north, Kisii and Nyamira counties to the east, and Migori County to the south. The county has 8 constituencies: Kasipul, Ndiwa, Karachonyo, Suba North, Suba South, Homa Bay Town, Rangwe, and Kabondo Kasipul. Homa Bay has a population of about 1 million people. The 2 major economic activities in the county are fishing and agriculture. Subsistence farming and small-scale production of commercial crops characterize agricultural production in the county. A vast majority of farmers invest in maize, beans, sorghum, and vegetable farming. Maize and beans account for 74% of the estimated income from the main crops in Homa Bay County. Homa Bay's position along Lake Victoria provides an opportunity for the county to export its agricultural produce to the entire East African community. Its proximity to Kisumu International Airport provides further links for export to neighboring countries as well as international markets. However, all this is at risk due to the ever-increasing gully erosion within the region. The gullies threaten the livelihoods of the residents, increasing food insecurity and unemployment. With time, an area like this will continue eroding and becoming a much bigger gully, which will eventually carry away the rich topsoil that are in the farms around this area. For the Chamwada Report, my name is Michael Zimanji.
Farmers in Homa Bay County are busy on their farms this rainy season. The long rains have turned this region green following a dry spell that lasted several months. But beneath the green landscapes that give a feeling of a region full of life, there is a major environmental challenge. When it rains, water gushes down from the hills, forming huge gullies and sweeping away top fertile soil from the farms to the lake. And many people have eventually been displaced. Gullies, 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 but this problem is not unique to Homa Bay County.
If you look at the Western Nyiro, it's probably the same problem. In Nairobi, you're generating a lot of runoff from all these rivers. It goes down to the Athi Plains. It's a problem that is generated by bad land use in parts of Kikuyu land. So every major river basin that you find in this country has this downstream, upstream tension.
It's not unique only to Homa Bay County, but it is prevalent in Homa Bay County because of the type and the nature of soil that we have. We have the black cotton soil that water easily percolates inside, and by the end of the day, runoff causes a lot of soil erosion. But it is so more pronounced in areas that, like say, Karachonyo.
There is an interesting and worrying historical perspective to the real cause of the problem.
For 15,000 years ago, the whole place was covered with water up to Nandi Hills. up to Sigowet Hills. So all of that, as the lake dried in historical time, has now left these unconsolidated lake deposits. Most of them are black cotton soil, extremely fragile.
With erosion gullies in this region increasing year after year, it seems Lake Victoria faces a big threat of sedimentation, and in future, environmentalists warn the lake may disappear.
In the Wynnum Gulf, you see this 80-kilometer stretch of sediment. Absolute what we call eutrophication. That is the most fertile part of the lake, and it's in many ways the thing that explains the hyacinth proliferation in Lake Victoria. The decimation of the cichlid fisheries, like for instance, tilapia will not breed under conditions of darkness, and that's what the eutrophication thing and the sedimentation creates. And that's why it's leading to species loss and actually a crisis in the fisheries in Lake Victoria. So these sediments have a huge consequence, and they're accumulating over time. And Lake Victoria is one of the most shallow freshwater lakes on the planet. So maybe not in our lifetime, but I don't think in another 2,000 years we will have Lake Victoria. It will be a huge wetland if this amount of erosion increases and it's not stopped.
The deforestation which we are experiencing could also be a result of mass charcoal burning because of fewer economic activities. We are also experiencing this soil problem and environment problem because of a lot of sand mining, especially in areas of Karachuonyo and the Kosele area. You find families mining sand from their own compounds, but then the connection comes when even roads start being swept away because much of the area has been mined.
Tumejaribu sana hata kupanda miti, lakini kwa sababu ya ukame miti nyingi zilikatwa.
The county government found this, but
when it comes to mitigation, there are many players, but the biggest player is the county government, given its constitutional mandate. County governments are in charge of crop and animal husbandry, soil and water conservation, forestry, stormwater management, and water and sanitation services.
We are encouraging the cultivation and the planting of fruit trees like the mango. Nobody cuts the mango trees for charcoal. We are also going into bamboo tree planting, which we have engaged some other organizations to help us with bamboo. There was also a research done with the National Chamber of Commerce on the cultivation of cashew nuts, especially in the Karachuonyo and the Kosele areas. The soil can take cashew nuts. So we are encouraging people to go for crops and trees that are both beneficial in terms of rain, in terms of soil conservation, and in terms of environmental beautification.
The national government's function, on the other hand, entails policy formulation, guidelines and standards, as well as capacity building. It is debatable whether county governments are giving adequate attention to environment and conservation, with critics saying counties need to up their game when it comes to resource allocation towards that function.
And right now, we don't have a distant government authority that we have to go to. Homa Bay has a Homa Bay County, the governor sits in Homa Bay, Kivu Bay is very close there. They have CC and County Executive Committee member on environment. They have their governor sitting there. They have ward administrators. These problems are now, the solution and the policy space for intervention is now much closer to the people than ever before.
We need the efforts of different stakeholders, both state actors and non-state actors. Secondly, we need a lot of awareness to the communities within Homa Bay. We need to create awareness to the communities and the stakeholders in Homa Bay of the emerging problem that will have a big impact to the community. When people are empowered and they have information, then they understand the environmental processes that will cause a challenge to their livelihood.
Let's have more on the impact of these gullies on livelihoods in Kanjira village with Michael Zimanji.
Mama Phoebe Mboya is busy working on her farm. She depends on her small farm for her living, but at the back of her mind, she is a worried woman. She has been a resident of Kanjira village for many years. And with each passing year, her land has slowly been reducing in size.
Nyaka nachak dak e area ni. An kod tabu mar mukruok mar aoregi. Koro lo mukore kadhi, kata pidho cham, to ula dhi gi cham go. Koro adong' gi kech.
Koro ura kana dar.
But Mama Phoebe is not the only one with such fears. Some of the residents have had to move their homes for fear of being swept away.
Kana ageruka or ura ninika. Ranga to orai echa. Koro kako to chui. Aura ni sienyo re biru ma aura no yecho odura ni mai. Mo daraka. Adar ma adi kuchu. Adi agido kuchu. Eme koro ani gituru mate.
This erosion has also made it difficult for the area residents to access even their immediate neighbors as well as basic social amenities.
First, we need trees. Secondly, we need a wall. A wall can be constructed to the far end of this gully, another one to the end of that gully. Alafu on top of the wall, they can construct a bridge whereby people can cross easily. Both children can cross it going to school, parents can cross it going to market.
It is the prayer of residents here that dams be constructed within these gullies to prevent formation of more of these so-called baleen walls that are physically separating families, like this one behind me. Over to you, Alex.
Thank you, Michael. Indeed, experts say construction of dams is one of the ways of solving this problem. We have more on that, including a case study right after the break. Welcome back. We are in Karachonyo, Homa Bay County, looking at land degradation and how it is linked to human activity. The consequences are many, ranging from food insecurity to human displacement. But how can these challenges be resolved? That's next in the second part of this program.
Tumejaribu kupanda miti ukipanda hapo, shida yenye iko kwa hiyo miti, mvua ikikuja mingi inabeba kabla haijakuwa kubwa. So namna ya kusimamisha hii mmonyoko ya udongo hatujapata suluhisho kamili.
A lot of work has been done by the World Bank, the Kenya Agricultural Productivity Project that was led by Curry, collaborating with ICRAF, the organization that I used to work for at that time. We've had a lot of world neighbors and a lot of small community-based organizations that have been working on these problems. But the problem that they're working at the site where the gully is, rather than bringing this collaborative upstream catchment approach, where you're talking to the guys up the hill in Homa Hills and the guys down in Kindu Bay, where the gullies are manifesting, in a conversation. But what is also interesting is that the lower lake plains usually have very low forest cover. Very little wood biodiversity numbers. And what happens in most of those parts of the country where wood fuel is used to drive the cooking in the kitchen, they actually they are a part of the problem that they're facing, because they buy the wood, they create the market for deforestation upstream, and then the waters then come down.
We've had some interventions in the water harvesting, this particularly with the county government. The county government of Homa Bay, through Ministry of Water and Environment, has been undertaking construction of water pans and small dams within Homa Bay to be able to hold this water during the rainy season for purposes of usage by the communities within the dry season. However, the challenge has been sustaining these water pans and the dams because of problems of siltation.
Homa Bay County's forest cover is 4% as compared to the global requirement of at least 10%. And this partly explains why gully erosion is rampant in the county.
National government is coming to us through the forestry department. We recently received about 16 functions that were devolved, governing. We have the forest conservator working together with us to conserve what is already existing and to increase forest cover.
The county government says parallel with tree planting, the other goal is to harness water that flows down through the gullies.
We are also looking for funds to dam the gullies so that we can stop much of the runoff and accumulate it and form dams where we can access water. But for us to do this, we need funds. So much of the gullies are there existing, but if we can harness the water that is flowing in the gullies, and like this dam you see here, we can use it for for irrigation purposes. We can also use it for livestock, and we can also use it for domestic use.
Tunapata maji karibu. Tena watu hapa karibu wanaweza kupanda mboga na nyanya.
The dams are just a treatment of the symptom. What we should ask ourselves is, why didn't our forefathers have those dams? Why is it now just necessary in our time? It's because of land use change and bad land use management.
When it comes to community mobilization, the people of West Karachuonyo pride in the initiative of retired ACK Bishop Hagai Nyang, who spearheaded efforts that resulted in the construction of this dam. It has become a key source of water for area residents. This dam is as a result of his efforts that saw him move from office to office since 1981, relentlessly trying to convince government officials to implement a concept paper of what is today Kobondo Dam.
I began with the agriculture people at Homa Bay. I went to them and said, there is a gully near my home and it erodes, it takes away the soil, and soon we are going to have no place to farm in. And they said they would come. They came. But after touring the area, they went and kept quiet. So I went back and said, what did you find out? They said, that is too much for us. We have no money to do it. And just they left me. And the person talked to me and walked away. He left me in his office.
The 82-year-old cleric, who is a former head of ACK Maseno South Diocese, never gave up until his vision was realized 30 years later. Who funded it?
The person who funded it was the Minister of Water. There were two people, the agriculture people and the Minister of Water. So the Minister of Water came first and said, we will fund it.
Okay. Which year was this?
2012.
2012. So it's been here since 2012?
Yeah.
Okay. And what impact has it had on the community?
It is great. It is big impact. Big. People, that 2013 there was a drought and there was water in here. And the whole of this place, from the hill down to almost to the road down there at Cadell, were coming here. The cattle, the people, all the people of West here, around here were coming here.
How was this area? Tell us when you were born and how was it?
It was bush, in fact. Even the place we are standing was a thick bush. Those early years of 40s. Thick bush. But when the bushes were cleared, the way was found out for the gullies to form.
So this is also because of human activity?
Yeah, of course, yes. Human activities. Clearing the gullies, the bushes, and leaving the soil bare. So, and then there was a lot of flocks of cattle. And people, when you tell them to plant trees, to them it is a dream, planting trees.
They don't take it seriously?
No, they don't take it seriously. They say they are not like the natural trees or bushes that we had fruits, wild fruits and so forth. But this one you are telling us to plant will help us do what? the, but the pastures were also there. But the danger that I see are these young people. They are sent here, and if they drop here,
it's risky.
Very risky.
Direct access makes the water dirty. So we are thinking of engaging with the moment we have funds, engaging with a contractor to put a pipe inside and to have an outlet where the water can now be accessed from outside. Because sometimes when you have people shower, washing, bathing, and the animals accessing, the water becomes more tepid. So we need to at least find a way in which we keep the water clean. And also we are providing families with the chemicals, which when they remove this water, they put the chemicals in the water so that it is clean and they can consume it.
We've come to the end of our program today. We discussed land degradation in Karachonyo, Homa Bay County, how it's linked to human activity and the consequences of that degradation ranging from food insecurity to human displacement and how it can be resolved. On behalf of the entire crew, thank you so much for watching, and remember you can find the entire program on our YouTube channel. You can also visit our website chamsmedia.com. See you again next week. Bye-bye for now.